All right, scheduled for 5, but it's going live. I got some work to do. Got some work to do. All right, let's get some order. This is all about order, 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 order. Lord of Order, welcoming in the Lord of Order, and we have order, order, orders. God is good. All right, guys, I really enjoy this kind of stuff, live stream stuff. Hey, Mia. How's it still daytime for you? Where are you at? I am in the sun. No, I'm on the west coast of the United States, and we are losing light. So probably in the next hour we'll be out of light, Mia. We'll be out of light. So yeah, what's your location? If you don't mind me asking. I mean, don't go with whatever feels comfortable and safe for you. I'll wait till when I see it. I'll respond. It'll be interesting to know where you probably are in the East Coast. It's already dark for you. Um, anyway, today we're talking about 10. Hey, there we go. Yeah, it's out of light for me in Florida, of course. Yeah, Florida, beautiful Florida. Yeah, Florida's pretty nice. Pretty nice. I was in Sarasota some years ago. I got to go back. God, it's exactly been 2000. Goodness, it's been 14 years since I was in Florida. 14. I need to go back and check it out. Today we're talking about 10 reasons to marry in the order of importance. Now, I talked about this in the last video, and we're going to talk about it real quick. So this is big thing. I always attack it. And again, by the way, everything I say here is not like gospel truth for anybody but Apex Humans and Geopolitical Christians. This just means people that intend to do the very thing that God calls his children to do, is just be the light of the world, be the salt of the world, be the exception, be the head, not the tail, be the lender, not the borrower, meaning we have prosperous lives and we can give to others out of our abundance, out of our overflow. And so in order to have that kind of life, we have to live and think differently than those who are part of the masses. And so in this video, I'm going to talk about how we view marriage. And a lot of what I'm saying here, I was in my past incarnations, meaning this life, but other times, 10 years ago, 15 years, 20 years ago, I had a different perspective. And I've had to evolve and grow through that. And I have, of course, getting my doctorate, studied a lot of things to get through the doctorate and had to focus down on one thing. But I looked at marriage statistics and all these things, even looked at them recently and looked at them over the time period and seen how, oh wow, like, so marriage was doing this for a long time and then it just did this. And you can see certain notions in society that led to that downfall of marriage, that led to the divorce rates, also led to children growing up without fathers, poverty in society, and I mean spiritual poverty, social poverty. There were people that could subsist, not even subsist, they could thrive on $40,000 a year, 60, 70 years ago. And that's because the dollar had more power back then. But I'm not going to get into economics. We're going to talk about marriage for love, why it is a demonic idea. And going back, I always say this, demonic energies are just energies that go contrary to life, contrary to the optimal human experience. So I'm going to use the cup of bleach. If you have a cup of bleach on the table, that bleach is demonic based on how you utilize it. If you drink the bleach, it's demonic. If you use it to clean the table, it's divine. It's good. It's godly. So marriage for love is demonic for apex humans. Now, marriage for love, if you want to just, uh, throw your life in the dice or whatever, and just kind of take a risk with your life. If you want to just throw it out there and see what happens, marry for love. But apex humans are going to be far more calculating and strategic about how they design their lives, because apex humans deserve the very best in life. We deserve the very best. We are worthy of the very best. We are children of the Most High. Nothing less than the best. We live optimal lives because we are optimal people. Drop a like in the video if you agree. So, if you marry for love, it's going to prevent your apex human awakening, and it will stop you from being a geopolitical Christian, unless all these other 10 things are in place. Now, you can marry for love once all these other 9 things are in place. Okay? The idea of marrying for love was fostered in the early 20th century, and it increased as the divorce rate increased. So, you'll notice the trend in music. In the early 1900s, marrying for love was not a major theme in the music. It was working, it was got this lady named Sally that I like. You know, it was the simple stuff. It wasn't, I love you. That's why I'm going to condition, or I'm going to commit my life to you because I'm in love with you. Love was something that came after you married, not before you married. Love was a result of the commitment that you made. It was not the condition of commitment. It was what came after you committed, not before you committed. And so arranged marriages were very popular up until about the early 20th century. And then you had the shift in music and in Hollywood. All these movies that were, Romeo and Juliet, the idea of sacrificing one's goals and desires in life for love. And then love, during that time period, once we got into the sexual revolution, became conflated with lust. So, I'm in love with you. I love you. That means I want to fuck you. I want to have sex with you. That did not mean I love you. Because if I love you meant I love you, well, then I can also love my sister or my mother or my grandmother. I also, you get the juxtaposition. So this happened in the 20th century. The whole sexual revolution had its value, but it was also had major detriments. Okay? So today we're going to be talking about marriage as it relates to geopolitical Christianity, the apex human awakening, and the golden age that we're going into. We're talking about 3 factors that must happen in order for you to go into marriage, but they are set up in order of importance. Hey, Kit Kat, welcome back. Yes. So there's an order of importance. Most important is at the top, least important is at the bottom. So first of all, let's talk, what is marriage? What is marriage for apex humans and geopolitical Christians? It is empire building. It is the renewal of the elite class, and the real elite class, not the people whose parents were rich, who grew up losers and just relied on daddy's money. No, no, no. The real elites, we are the ones who are tried through the fire. We've been tried through the fire of perdition, tried through the fire, and come out pure as gold. We are the sons and daughters of the Most High. We have been through the hell of being human, and we have mastered this game, and now we're here to give the very best of God to the world by living the best lives. We jump in the chat. Mia says, so if I love 2 guys and I love a millionaire, but the more poor one to be a geopolitical Christian, I would be with the richer one. To be a yes, if you love both, but understand, Mia, that love is one of the last things you want to consider when you're marrying a guy. The very last. If the millionaire does not have a relationship with God, and we're going to go through the top 10, doesn't have the other 9 things in place, do not marry him. It's worse than marrying a brokey. So we're going to go through the top 10 things in order of importance. Now, if the millionaire guy has all these other 9 things in order, and the brokey loves you with all his heart, will die for you, drop his ass. It's nice, it feels good, but 2 years into the marriage, when your baby doesn't have formula or isn't able to breastfeed because you're working all day, because you got to make up for what he can't carry, that's not what God has for you, Mia. You deserve better. You deserve the man that's the top of the hill, the top of the mountain, the apex man. And guess what? He's going to run ahead of you and leave you in the dust if you don't be the best woman that you can be. So you're going to have to be the best woman you can be as well. You're already beautiful because you're a young lady, a daughter of the Most High. But your attractiveness is something that you may have to work on. Okay? Yeah, there you go. There you go. So what is marriage for the apex human, the geopolitical Christian? Is empire building for the elite class. The elite class, we got off track. And especially for me as a Marian, I can say the day that Marians accepted Black identity, African American identity, we were fucked. This was in about the before Martin Luther King was murdered. Around that time period, we bought into an identity that destroyed us. If you want to look at identity, there's a whole other video I have on that, talks about that in more detail. But we were the elite class. We referred to ourselves as colored, Moorish Americans. We didn't really have that, but there was a little bit of that in there. But we were wealthy. We were upwardly mobile. We didn't have to worry about segregation and any of that stuff because it didn't matter to us. We had tons of money. We had our own land, our own businesses, our own cultures. Look at Oklahoma City in its original state before it was bombed, which, whatever, it's a silly story, but whatever, right? So we were an exceptional group of people in America, and we did not have to worry about racism. It didn't even exist for us. We were never enslaved. We were free colored people. We were all that stuff, right? And so we were the elite class. But we let go of that because we bought into this notion of marry for love. And so instead of marrying within the elite class, we met some Janiqua and married her. And then she got on food stamps and said we were abusive, sent us to jail. And then we lost access to our kids, and our kids grew up in a system. And 5 generations later, people that look like me, living, eating, breathing welfare and being Democrats for 8 years, 8 generations, 1,000 years, right? So, marriage for the apex human is empire building, and it enriches the elite class. It helps the elite because we have too few elites right now. In the so-called elite class, you have a bunch of losers. They're just, they're drug addicted. They're, all this stuff is going on, and they're just like useless. They're progressive in the sense that let's save everybody, let's save the planet, let's save everybody. No, be the best. Create industries so that people have jobs. Do exceptional things. Drill, 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 baby, drill. But do it intelligently and economically. All right. So marriage also is a form of genetic engineering and eugenics. It is class creation. It is class refinement. The working class is an exceptional class of people. Apex humans are part of the working class, okay? Because they are builders in society as well. There's no Jew or Gentile, Greek or free man, as the Bible says, as Paul says. We are all one, and we occupy various functions of society, but we're still the apex. We're still the top, okay? Also, marriage is designed for the Golden Age awakening. Marriage is also designed to fulfill God's purpose for humanity and posterity, which is to live long and prosper. Star Trek, live long and prosper, but also to live a life of prosperity, purpose, peace, purity, power, peace, and pleasure. So that is what marriage is for the geopolitical Christian, for the apex human. All right, now let's get into the top 10 reasons to marry in order. Now, I got to make this very clear. It's a triad. There are 3 triads, and I'll show you my quickly drawn a pyramid. And so you have the very most important quality, which is connection to God. And then you have the next triad, which is oneness to each other. The second triad, which is relationship to reality or reality thing. I can't read it backwards here. Reality engagement, which is duality. And then the third and final triad, which is pleasure. So the first and most important thing that you must have in order to marry someone is a relationship with God. If you're to be an apex, and this is, again, I'm just describing apex human marriage, apex human understanding. Yes. Apex human awakening, apex marriages, geopolitical Christian marriages. Not all marriages. Okay. A relationship to God is where you get your wisdom, your wealth, your clarity, your focus, your enthusiasm, and your miracles. Is your relationship to God. That's the most important thing. We cannot move this. It is always at the top of the list. That does not change. Now we're going to go into the first triad, which refers to our oneness to each other. So the second most important thing on the list is compatibility. And compatibility means you are sexually compatible, spiritually compatible, and you are compatible in your identities. And so that means that, let's say you come from a Catholic Latino family and you want to improve that community and you love that community, well, you're probably going to want to aim for a woman whose identity is compatible to that, another Catholic Latino woman, right? well, you're a man and she's a woman, right? Sexual compatibility is important as well. You have to check in with this person to see if their sexual flow and their sexual expression is consistent with yours and compatible. If this person is always like, oh, I don't got time, or I don't want to hold, or and again, you don't necessarily want to break the fornication thing. You don't necessarily want to do that. What I'm saying is you want to feel to see if your energies are compatible sexually. And again, that's a whole nother video. I won't go into details. Spiritual compatibility is important as well. Do you utilize things like astrology and crystals and incense and that sort of thing, and your partner thinks that's the devil? If that's the case, you're not compatible. But let's say that you do enjoy having crystals and doing the incense thing and astrology stuff, and you just like it because it's fun. You realize it's a symbol, it's not reality per se. And your partner's okay with that too, and they love that just like you. There's compatibility. So the second most important rule for marriage is you must be compatible. The third most important thing is shared values. Shared values. That means spiritual values, identity values, social values, political values, religious values. If she's a Republican and you're a Democrat and you're one of those, mommy was a Democrat and grandmommy, because you ain't got a dad if you're a Democrat. I'm joking, but I'm serious. But let's say all the way back you guys are Democrat because y'all don't think about it. And she's a Republican, you do not need to be together. You need to be politically aligned. And that just means that your politics are shared. And look, you can both be Republicans and still be politically misaligned. You could be a Rhino Republican and she's a Trump Republican, like a new Republican, the neocons or whatever. You could be alt-right and she could be, I don't know, a libertarian or something like that. There may be incompatibility. So make sure that you have shared values. That's the third most important thing. And then the fourth most important thing that comes after shared values is communication style. Now, and the reason that communication style comes next is because if you have shared values, you're typically going to speak the same. You're going to speak the same language. If you have sexual identity and spiritual compatibility, you're going to have the same language. Relationship with God, you're going to have the same language, more or less. And that's why communication style comes after that, because if you have communication style first and all these other things are not in line, it's going to fall apart. So communication style is very important. That means your drama tolerance is going to be the same. If he uses a lot of profanity and that hurts or frightens or scares you, communication, I use a lot of profanity. I use all the words. I can't use all of them on you because I use all of them, as you can probably tell. And that works for me. Now I'm not going to use it in public. I don't drop f-bombs and say the nigger and all that stuff in public. I don't do that. But I do it here because I'm being very real and I want the right people to be here, right? So communication style is very important. Drama tolerance is very important. If you cannot stand your wife or your girlfriend or your LTR lady telling you this long drama story about how she got in a fight with her friends and blah 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 blah, there's a communication style breakdown there. And you have to, if you say, look, honey, I don't give a fuck about all the details about this. I don't want to hear it. And that destroys her because she needs a man that can deal with that. That's going to be a tiebreaker, right? Because trust me, it's going to compound over the years. So drama tolerance in the communication style is very important. Two humans coming together. Look, I don't always understand myself. Sometimes I'm like, wait, why did I say that? I didn't mean that. So you're talking to another human, and so it's very important for the communication style to be aligned. Knowing what she says, knowing what he says, and where they're coming from, that allows for less speaking. There are people I've been with, I can say 18 words, and they get me, it's like me talking for 5 hours. Whereas, in my last relationship, we were not communication compatible. And so I would go on and on and on and on and on. The more I explained, the less she understood. And she was great about being very direct in what she spoke. She's a very masculine communicator. Uh, and that was very powerful on her part. I applaud her for that. I'm more verbose. And so I thought, oh, she didn't understand me. Let me say more words. No, it just made it worse. And so the communication styles were that. Now I had other friends, I could say literally very few words and it's like, oh yeah, boom, 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 boom. They can finish my sentences. They get where I'm coming from. So communication style is the fourth most important thing. Now, the top three cannot be moved lower. You cannot exchange them, and they should stay in their order. Now, let's go into the second triad, and this is the triad of reality engagement. This is where you as a couple, how you deal with the external world. Okay? But first, Number 5 is finances. You have to have alignment in your finances. How money is made and how it is used. You guys have to automatically agree on that. Meaning you guys have to have an agreement around that. And that doesn't mean that you guys sit together and write it out. No, that means the way he was using money before he met you matches the way you were using money before you met. If he's an entrepreneur and you're an entrepreneur, you guys are going to get it when it's challenging or when there's money things and stuff. You're going to get that. So, but if he's a 9-to-5er, nothing wrong with that. And that lots of apex humans are 9-to-5ers. He's going to feel more comfortable making money through a stable structure like that. And if you're an entrepreneur, there's going to be a mismatch there. So, okay, that's a generalization. Some entrepreneurs do really well with 9-to-5ers because they're a union, is a really good union. But how money is made and how it is used has to match up before you get together. Okay, let's see here. To-doodles, welcome back. Hello, hello, hello. We're talking about the top 10 reasons or factors that go into marriage and long-term relationships. And these are in order. Because I get a lot of love comes first, and love is actually the last for an apex marriage, for a geopolitical Christian marriage. So anyway, we're at number 5. We talked about finances, and your financial kind of blueprint should match up. How you make money and how you spend it should match. Again, no man should ever tell a woman how to use their money, and no woman should ever tell a man how to use his money. That is just grounds for divorce, for drama, for fighting, for all that stuff. You need to find someone. And you have to trust God to match you up with a person that you like, that you're attracted to, that you want, that's going to have the qualities that match for you. You think God isn't sitting up there, oh no, how am I going to match how am I going to match them up? I don't know what to do. No, this is the creator of the universe. We are children of the Most High. We have the confidence. God will send you the perfect man who uses money the way that is best, that matches the way you use money. And a woman that uses money in a way that matches you. God wants the best for his children. Why would he do anything less? Okay, so just trust God and hold your standards as an apex human. You deserve the best. All right, always remember that. And so now we're on to number 6. The 6th most important thing is respect. How we treat ourselves and how we treat others, and how we treat ourselves and how we treat our partners, and how we expect to be treated is respect. And if you are with someone who blows their top because they got cut off in traffic and that doesn't work for you, that's a deal breaker. Because guess what? Over time, it's going to come your way. Okay? But if you guys, again, look, if you're from certain cultures, like say you're from Sicilian culture, or you're from Puerto Rican culture, or, and again, obviously these are generalizations, but generally in those cultures, there may be more room for expression. And so that can that can look disrespectful from a person from a German culture or from Japanese culture. You know, blowing your top if you're a Sicilian is just communication style. Like she's not going to be hurt by that, and he's not necessarily going to be hurt by that. Obviously, there's Sicilians that are just like really chill and calm and don't like that, and they're going to probably do better with a Japanese person. But you know, so that's just kind of how it is. And so you just have to find someone that's compatible in the respect layer. Um, some women think it's very disrespectful for a man to use profanity. I would not get with a woman like that because I'm going to talk in a way that she's going to feel disrespected by. All right. So, hey, I'm Puerto Rican. Yay. So are you the type of Puerto Rican that is more like chill head? Because obviously everybody, right? I'm generalizing here. But like I'm Marian, right? That's why I had to leave black culture completely. I mean, I never was black, but because I was like, I cannot understand or connect with those women. Like they do the whole, and it's just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like I'm always on edge. Like I have to walk on eggshells around it. I can't do it. So I personally have to match with um, like European, Middle Eastern, Filipino women. That like I match better with white, European, whatever type of women than I do, or Ethiopian women sometimes, certain Kenyan women, um, certain Indian women. I've been with a couple of Indian women, like, but it's usually Asian and white, and Latinas too. Mexican women, I love. Like, I do very well with Mexican women. Um, but anyway, like that's just me. So I'm outside of my culture, or I'm not black. I don't have any of that culture. But I'm saying when people look at me, they think I'm part of that culture, and I don't fit it. So you may not fit your culture, but you may be more drama tolerant. And so if a guy says, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?" but it's coming from a place of love, and you get that, and your dad was like that with his mom, and they were married forever, then that's not disrespectful. What I'm saying is each culture has its tolerance levels, and so everybody's different. Puerto Ricans are good with me. I love me a good black man, though. Can be respectful at times. Can be respectful sometimes. Yeah, Puerto Ricans are superb for sure. Yeah, so I don't think I've ever been with a Puerto Rican woman. No, I've never been with a Puerto Rican woman. Trying to think if I was attracted to 100 million of them because Puerto Rican women are gorgeous, but like I don't think I necessarily like clicked where it was just like, yeah, let's do this, like let's like settle down sort of thing. I'm pretty sure I could because like I said, everybody's different. Some people are real chill, but certain cultures have like general overreaching things. Like Germans tend to be very reserved. But then you have very drama addicted Germans that are like, huh, huh, Ubenstein, Ubenstein, Gubenstein, right? And then you have English people tend to be very reserved. Japanese tend to be very reserved on the whole, but it all depends on you as an individual. So just know yourself, is what I'm saying. But getting back to number 6, the respect tolerance level has to match. And you cannot be telling a person, this is how you need to act, this is who you need to be, because God made them perfect the way they are. If they're not an apex human, they're perfect that way too. And so uh, we just have to understand, like, we have certain tolerance levels. And oh yeah, Middle Eastern women are really like, I really connect with Middle Eastern women. Italian women I actually do too, but they gotta be like from Northern Italy. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into details. I'm getting off track. All right, number 7, goals. Goals must match up. And again, this is before you guys meet. If your goals don't match up before you meet, and you tell somebody, well, I think you should go get a PhD and da 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 da. If that doesn't match with the goals they have for themselves, it's okay to kindly, lovingly separate and find someone that has the shared goals for you. Because goals are basically, do you have shared goals for the long term of the relationship? Is your goal for to make sure all your kids go to college, or is your goal that all your kids start a business and make 100K within the first 5 years, and you guys work together on that? If you have shared goals, my goal is to have, like, I want to have many kids with the next woman that I'm with, and so and have that stratified a certain way. And so if her goals are not that way, then that's a deal breaker. And that's number 7, but it comes out to respect. And so you just have to make sure you have the same goals. And that just kind of goes without saying. I don't have to really go into detail on that. All right. And then number 8 is, now we're getting into the final triad, which is pleasure, the cosmic flow of pleasure, or the creative flow. This is the third triad at the very bottom. And this is something that is the least important out of the 10, but it's extremely important still. All right. And this is number 8 is attraction. It's one of the pleasure requirements of marriage. Attraction. You got to be attracted to the person that you're with. Okay. You have to look at them and like what you see. If you can't like what you see, then, but you cannot put attraction higher on the list, because if you put attraction before the relationship with God, it's going to fall apart. If you put it before compatibility, it's going to fall apart. So attraction in its proper place is number 8. That just means that you're drawn to each other. There's an energy. I mean, there, like, again, Northern European women, oh God, Slavic women. There have been Slavic women I've been with. It's just like, wow, super powerful. Slavic and Scandinavian women. Um, and I think it's the genetic incompatibility. I mean, no, genetic compatibility, meaning we're not genetically aligned. We're not genetically the same. That's the best way to say it. We're so genetically divergent. I do have Norwegian ancestors, but only like 6%. So that means that I'm genetically far enough away from her that I feel attraction to her. And also, attraction is a genetic component. That's your body saying that person's going to make good kids with this body. That's your body. That's God talking. So that's why you're not attracted to your siblings. Like, you don't, like, when you smell them, they stink. Their pheromones, ugh. That's a sibling. That's your body saying, don't fuck that. Don't have sex with that. Okay? Don't do it. You're going to make some problems, right? And so attraction, physical, sexual, spiritual attraction too, That means you like each other, you feel drawn to you, you like her smell, he likes your smell, or yeah, anyway, you like each other's smell, right? Meaning like when you're clean and showered. Obviously, hygiene is important. So there's an attraction where you just feel drawn to this person. And I can tell you, man, I've been with women that when I was around them and the smell of their sweat, I mean, not heavy, like they're even stinking because they running around all day unshowered. I'm talking about like when I was near her, it was just like there was a heat that was coming off her body. I felt like my brain turned off and my body just wanted to magnetize to her. And so there was a girl from Poland like that. There was a girl from Switzerland. A lot of Mexican girls I was like that. Like 6 or 7 Mexican girls I was like that. Um, my first wife definitely felt that when I first met her. A girl from Azerbaijan. Anyway, all I'm saying is like I know what my type is. I need to be with that type of woman. Because when I'm around her, I'm like, yeah, ooh, wow, I feel like, and she liked my smell and like her smell originally. Anyway, so attraction is extremely important. You are drawn to each other. That's going to help with sexuality through the marriage, because if you're not attracted to this person in a very short time, you're going to be going out and having an affair. And that's just kind of what it is. Obviously there's room for that in certain marriages, and that goes back to respect. Some people are okay with you, meaning some husbands are, some wives are like, he can have a fling as long as he comes back home and doesn't bring children or diseases. But again, that's an alignment thing. All right, and then now we're at number 9, fun and shared interests. Now, shared values might cover this, but shared interests and shared fun is very important. This helps with the longevity of the marriage. There are things that I love with all of my heart. Star Trek is one of them. Science fiction in the sense of like Star Trek. Like I'm a Trekkie Trekker with all my heart. Like if I meet a woman that is into that, it's like, oh, that's why I have to go to like Trekkie conventions and stuff like that. Burning Man, that's my thing. That's my jam. I love it. I go to Burning Man every year. I need a woman that matches up with it. Now I don't know if that's gonna be a forever thing for me, because I'm changing. So I may not go to Burning Man forever for always. I like, the expanded experience of the mind. That's fun for me. I enjoy that. I have it in its place. I travel the world and I experience psychedelics. Let's just call it that. All right. And so I love world travel. I love psychedelics. I love Burning Man. I love Star Trek. These are fun things that I love. If I get with a woman that cannot understand Star Trek and hates it, doesn't do mind expanding things outside of the country where it's legal, or in parts of the country where it's legal, guys, be legal. Don't do psychedelics. Um, or or doesn't have spiritual expanded things, or doesn't enjoy astrology or things like that I love, or crystals. I like that stuff in its place. Then that's fun for me. If she doesn't like that, we're not going to have anything to have fun with. You need to have a shared fun in your life. And that's super important. That's part of the pleasure aspect of compatibility. So make sure that, like, let's say you're not into, like, you like hiking. I love hiking. It's got to be a woman that likes hiking, likes to take care of her body, likes working out. If you meet a guy that's a homebody and you get fun going out and having fun, hey, as make sure there are other things that you guys do fun together. Super important. It's part of the pleasure aspect of the triads. Okay? And so that just goes without saying. Oh, okay. Amia says, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking? What happened with your marriage? I'll talk about that. That's a very good question. So I'm older than I look. I'll say I'm in my 40s. We'll leave it that way. I'm in my 40s. And then what happened with my last marriage is that I did not make sure that these 10 things were in place. What happened with my marriage was that, not that there was anything wrong with my ex. She's an exceptional woman. She's just an awesome person. Okay. In her realm, she has certain risk tolerances that perfect for her. God has made her perfect. She's perfect the way she is. It's just that I was not mature enough to marry. I married at 23 and I was a virgin. And so she was my first. And so I married a woman that had more sexual experience than I did, more life experience, more worldly experience, everything. She was a Christian. I was a Christian. We married as Christians. But I did not feel, number one, worthy of her love, because the kind of love I experienced from women in my life was of unworthiness. I was never worthy of a woman's love, my mother's love. And so I chose a woman that kind of fit into that. And so the whole thing of it is that I chose a woman that was best for me when I married her, but I evolved through the marriage and I changed and I grew and I was no longer compatible with her. And so that I never looked at these 10 things. I never looked at these 10 things. I married for love. That's why the marriage fell apart. And it was all it was, not say my fault, but it was the result. And I was the one that filed for divorce. But it was my lack of trusting in God and following my path that led to the end of that marriage and me not listening to God's calling to me. So that's why the marriage ended. And that was that. I take full accountability for that. And I had some extremely low points that exacerbated the end of the marriage. I knew that I should have ended the marriage earlier, but I tried to please her and make sure that she was happy with me ending it. I begged her to end it, and I did not end it when I should have, and that's why it ended. So she's a great person. She's an exceptional person, and it's a process. And I'm getting better about being clear about that. And I've been very, very good about it recently. And I love my solitude. I absolutely love it. And when I do have sexual interactions with women, I make it very clear I'm building and growing myself. I have no interest in starting an LTR right now. I want to get my money right first. And once that's right, and I've enjoyed enough sowing my wild oats, that's when I'll settle down and have more children and things like that. Because I love children and I love being a father. Just love it. Love it with all my heart. Love it. And so that goes back to goals. If I'm with a woman that doesn't like having kids, like I've been with women and they're like, I don't want kids. And I'm like, have a good life. I don't even invest time, even if it's a fun relationship, I don't invest time with that. All right. Because I fall deeply. Okay. So anyway, that's why I'm very careful. And this is really a 10 list for me. Anyway, so getting back to it. So yeah, that was number 9 was fun and shared interest. And then finally, everybody wants to hear this one, love. Love is the 10th most important factor in marriage, and it is the least out of the 10. It is the bottom, because what does love mean? And for a geopolitical Christian, love means a following, excuse me, it's a feeling of oneness or union with other. You're seeing yourself in another person, and that it's also the ability to see the other as essential to yourself. That is what love is. It's not, oh my God, I would die for her. That's not love. That's obsession, and it's stupid. If you would die for her, that means that if she decides to take all these drugs and fentanyl and all this stuff, you're gonna sit there and do it with her. No, you're not going to call her to her highest. Or that means if he's beating the crap out of you, you're just going to let him do it until he puts you in the hospital or ends your life. That's stupid. That is not love. That is insanity. That's demonic possession. So Mia says, oh, okay, sorry. I left for a second, but it's okay. I think that we all need to make sure that we are in the right place for marriage. Also, you look like 30. Thank you. Okay, I look about 10 years older. I look 10 years younger than I actually, or 12, whatever. I look younger than I am. Thank you. I look 30. Thank you. All right. So I'll keep working on my body and stuff. I want to stay looking this way for at least another 20 years. I think I can do it. Because my dad looks super young. My mom looked super young until she was in her 60s. Everybody was approaching her when she was even 60. 30 and 20-year-old guys were approaching her. And it was just like, I could be your mother. So anyway, that's what she was saying. So anyway, the final thing is love. And love is a sense of oneness with other. That's all that it is ultimately in its truest sense. Now, that's why we love, big quotes, our children. Really love. Now, people have used things like the term making love. So that's why love has been so perverted. Because we use terms like make love. What does that mean? That means to have sex with someone. So is love sex? Am I what they should say is sexual intercourse or making sex, because that's what sex is. Sex is not making love. It's not making love. Making love is working together, building together, respecting each other, having shared interests, having common. That's making love. Okay? And you can do that with anyone that you feel a oneness with. You feel oneness with your children, you feel oneness with your parents, you feel oneness with your spouse and others. It's a special type of oneness in marriage, but love is the least most important. All it is a sense of oneness with the other. And if you have all these other 9 things in place, the sense of love or oneness will just fall into place. You cannot put a sense of oneness over your relationship with God. You can't put it above compatibility. Because if you become one with someone that's incompatible with you and your life choices and your life path, guess what happens? You now become incompatible with your ideal life. And what happens? You no longer experience your ideal life. And now you're living their life. If you're an entrepreneur, you want to create a great business. Well, now you're doing the 9 to 5 thing, and nothing wrong with the 9 to 5. You can be apex human and be a 9 to 5er, but that's not your ideal path. So keep these things in mind. So I'm gonna go over them real quick. Top 10 from top to bottom is number one is relationship with God. Your partner must have that in order to be eligible for marriage. The next thing is compatibility, sexual, spiritual identity compatibility. You guys have to share that compatibility. Third is shared values. Do you guys have the same spiritual identity, social, political, religious values? Don't be Muslim and try and marry a Christian unless you guys have a certain form of Islam and Christianity that works. All right, make sure that your values are aligned. You are compatible. Shared values. And then communication style. What is your drama tolerance? Do you guys know what each other is even talking about? Does he use big words that you can't understand, or does she use big words that you can't understand? And this has to happen before you guys get together. You can't force each other to talk differently. You're two humans, two different ways of talking. That can be challenging. Then finances. You must have shared finances. All right, shared money styles, meaning how you make money and how you use money must match up before you get together. Don't get in a marriage or get in a long-term relationship and be like, oh wait, I like to invest high-risk investments, and that freaks her out. Don't figure that out, okay, before you guys get together. All right, so financial, how you make money and how you use it, how you spend it must match up. And then number 6 is respect. That's how you treat yourself and how you treat other people. If she talks down on herself, she doesn't respect herself. That's incompatible if you're one who speaks highly of yourself. You want to be with a woman that respects herself, a man that respects himself, and they're going to respect you and respect others. Also look at how they respect others. That was number 6. Number 7 is goals. Do you guys have the same goals for your marriage, for your life, for your money, for your finance, for your kids? If it's the same, then it's a good marriage. Your marriage compatible. And then number 8 is attraction. Do you feel a draw to them? Do they light your body up? Okay, when you're meeting. If not, it's not good. It's going to end, and he's going to be cheating on you. It's going to break your heart if that doesn't work for you. Some people are okay with it. Some women are actually okay with that. So you know yourself. Figure it out. And then number 9 is fun and shared interests. You guys have to have fun together. You got to be able to go. We love hiking and we love going traveling the world, or we love Burning Man, or have fun together. Things that you guys have fun together that you just love. And then finally, number 10 is love. That's a sense of oneness. Now, when all 9 are in place, the sense of oneness just comes in by itself. It just comes along with the game. So make sure those 10 things are in place: a relationship with God, compatibility, shared values, commitment, communication style, finances, respect, respect, all right, shared goals, attraction to each other, sexual attraction, spiritual attraction, fun, all right, and then finally love. Make sure those things match up. When they do match up, everything falls into place. All right, so and for an apex human marriage and geopolitical Christian marriage. So y'all be good, y'all be blessed, y'all. There's my communication style, not really. You all have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you so much for showing up, Mia. Always so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for Two Doodles for coming back. And then Kit Kat, welcome back, because I remember you in the other videos. Y'all just be good out there. Be blessed.